This is the video review of Transformers Universe Magna Stampede. I love that name. Magna Stampede! And he is a recolor of the Beast Machine's Battle Unicorn figure. And I like how the Battle Unicorn figure looks. I mean, I like this mold in general, but Battle Unicorn, it was a Beast Machine's figure and a Maximal figure, so it had a lot of translucent blue plastic, like in here, and then I think the arms. And potentially that plastic is fragile. It always makes me worry a little bit. So I think because of that, Magna Stampede is the better color scheme of the figure, the better version of the figure. And that's just by the plastics alone. By the colors, I think he is a very good... he has a very nice color scheme. I wish this gold here were a bit brighter because compared to this really bright pearly white, it does look a bit drab, but it does look nice. It looks armored, looks knightly, looks very nice. As for... well, actually, before I get into that, I got this used so I don't have his weapon, which was his main, which turns into an axe in robot mode, and then his tail, which came out here. So as a result, normally his head's supposed to be out like this more, which I think is a bit more natural posture for a horse, but then you can see the head from there, so I typically just pull it back like that to fill in the gaps. You can still see the head here, but it's turned around, so I don't mind it so much. So, if you don't have the weapon bit, it's not the end of the world. The figure is still fine. I mean, I've enjoyed this figure plenty without it. I think this beast mode looks good without it. Probably look better with it, but what can you do? Anyway, for articulation, the hind legs can go back and forth, in and out, and that's it. You can move the upper neck bit area up and down, and then there's also a gimmick where you can rotate this around, which will make his head dip down and stab people with his horn, and his horn can move. And one thing that you can do is you can pull this off, and that will allow you to spread these out, although they are very loose. So, maybe do it, maybe not. I typically leave it on because, hey, I don't want to lose a piece. So you have those options, and then front legs can go forward and back, and they can bend forward and back here, and then all the feet are ball jointed, so they can go up, down, rotate side to side. So really, quite a posable horse figure, although I wish he had posability in this joint here, but as you can see, it's locked by robot bits. Now, transform this guy is very interesting. I love his transformation. First thing you're going to do, fold the horn back, rotate the feet up like this, open this out and out. And then, a lot of people fold this foot behind like this, but I just leave it with a fist because it tends to stay out of the way like that. It doesn't look the best, but I prefer posability over strict, perfect aesthetics. Now, the next thing we're going to do is very neat. We're going to split the back, then we're going to rotate these parts around like this, and they're going to sandwich over the unicorn head. It can be a bit hard to get everything aligned just right, but once you get it done, at least on mine, it's pretty solid. Rotate the head around, and the only thing we have left to do now is to fold out the front toe. So bring this around, back down, rotate, and boom. Do the same to the other side. And it's a pretty interesting foot here, how it's sort of separated like this. It actually ends up giving somewhat interesting posability. I wish they had put a little bit more thought into the feet, but they do work pretty well. So anyway, this is Magna Stampede in robot mode, and I really like the way the Battle Unicorn mold looks. It looks very knightly, very armored, very badass. Now, I do wish that Magna Stampede, these gold bits here were a bit brighter, because compared to the bright pearly white plastic here, it looks kind of drab. I also wish the red on his helmet were a bit more vibrant. I think that would really have made him pop more, but as it is, he does look quite nice. For posability, his arms go forward and back, in and out, rotate above the elbow, and then you have 180 degrees of movement at the elbow. Now, of course, he does have these big thighs, so he'll run into things, so the arms aren't perfect, but they do work pretty well. This is a bit loose, just ignore it. The head can rotate side to side, although it will catch on some things, and it can look up and down, so decent head. The legs go forward, back. Well, if they don't separate, they can go... And the problem is I keep grabbing back here, and it'll normally stay together well unless you push this into the halves, and that splits them apart. In, out, bend a little bit at the knee, and then each foot bit here is ball jointed like before, which is pretty nice because having the end effectors being able to move around however you want, it really does allow you to have some decent poses. So let me try and get him into a pose. I mean, you would think he wouldn't be super poseable, but he can get into a fairly nice stance and be flat-footed because you can push both toes down. So I do like this figure. He's pretty neat. He has his flaws, but overall I think he is a worthy purchase. So if you want to risk the possibly brittle translucent plastic on Battle Unicorn, maybe get Battle Unicorn. If you want to buy Magna Stampede, I definitely recommend the figure. He is very neat. So yeah, I reviewed Transformers, Power Rangers figures, Macross figures, Marvel figures, just a ton of stuff. If any of that sounds interesting, please subscribe. Thank you for watching.